Hello, hello. So, I'm ready to sing.
Please do.
Cada vez que me voy.
Good morning, everyone. Welcome to the mid of October and some peace. We're going to start with spirit-led, spirit-fed. Please put these to sleep. Silence them in any which way you can. Airplane mode, work mode, do not disturb mode. Just plain turn it off. And if you are able to stand and join us for the opening song, please do. I am spirit-led, spirit-fed. Everywhere in noise, I am spirit-led. I am spirit-led, spirit-fed. Everywhere in noise, I am spirit-led. Flowing like a river of peace. I am nature's wandering child. Love cannot be added to me. I am made complete in the divine. I am spirit-led, spirit-fed. Everywhere in noise, I am spirit-led. I am spirit-led, spirit-fed. Everywhere in noise, I am spirit-led. There's magic in every day, like a beautiful song. And as we're choosing our way, well, there's a voice inside to guide us along. We are spirit-led, spirit-fed. Everywhere in noise, we are spirit-led. We are spirit-led, spirit-fed. Everywhere in noise, we are spirit-led. We are spirit-led, spirit-fed. Everywhere in noise, we are spirit-led. We are spirit-led, spirit-fed. Everywhere in noise, we are spirit-led. Everywhere in noise, we are spirit-led. Everywhere in noise, we are spirit-led.
Yes, indeed, we are. You may be seated. Oh, yes. Feel that spirit moving in and around and through and as you, right? It is in, around, through, and as us. And we're coming together today to know that at a deeper level, to expand our consciousness, to expand our hearts, and to experience the reality of that divine that expresses through, in, and as us. And it is a fabulous day today. I have to say, we have a special guest speaker that Oswaldo will be introducing in just a little bit. And this is indeed Oswaldo Mora, who is our fearless
Thank you.
service leader, and he'll be anchoring us in prayer and meditation. We want to say a quick hello to those of you joining us online on Facebook, YouTube. Glad to have you here. I know there's a few of you out there. Hello, I can see you. Say hello in the chat and we'll get a conversation going. All right, but without further ado, I invite you to join us as Oswaldo lights the divine light candle and we experience that divine element of fire for a moment. And I invite you to say our opening invocation together, which is on that buff sheet in the seat back in front of you, if you're not yet familiar with that. You might want to hand Reverend Anna one from the back of the... There we go. Now she's got one. All right, and let's just take a moment, breathe into our heart space, really feel that connection with infinite spirit right there. And together, there is only one presence and one power active in the universe and in my life. God, the good omnipotence. Let's breathe that in. Feel that reality. of that omnipresent good. This is the spiritual truth that we know about ourselves, about others, about our world. It is the spiritual truth. And as we open to it, as we connect with it, as we align ourselves with it, it becomes our experience. And so it is.
I surrender. I trust and I know as I surrender, I fall into the arms of love. I surrender. I trust and I know as I surrender, I fall into the arms of love. I fall into the arms of love.
Good morning. I'm going to take you in a small journey. Small, but it's going to be deep. Today's theme is about the practice of peace, as peace is an element, a vital element for our lives in this moment. I am going to invite you to close your eyes. Take a deep, deep breath. Feel your divine presence. Peace is everywhere. The only thing that we need to do is to get into the frequency of peace. And the element that is able to get that frequency is the heart. So I invite you to focus in the center of your chest. That is where your heart is. From there you inhale, exhale, and let the vibration of the singing bowl take you. Just feel your divine presence. Let your heart do the rest. Experience your divine presence. Say it to yourself, I trust myself. I trust myself. Take that deep, deep breath so you can consolidate your words. I have peace in my heart because I trust myself. I experience peace in my heart because I trust myself. And as I am trusting myself, I am able to trust others. As I trust myself, I am able to trust others. So I let go my doubts. I let go my doubts. Connecting with my heart brings me understanding. As I understand, I am able to forgive. Everything from my heart. Being in my heart, I am able to trust others. So I'm going to mention their names so they can feel that I trust them and they can trust me. This way we create a big circle of people in peace. As we trust ourselves, now we are able to trust others. That's the beginning of peace, trust. Now that we reach the frequency of peace, I invite you to feel your presence here Sunday, October 15, Chapel Hill, Unity Center of Peace. When I ring the bell, you will be able to come back. Take a deep breath. Can you recognize the faces of the others that now you trust freely? Welcome back. How are you? How you feel today? Now we are here. We're going to take a moment to, this is the time, this is the moment. Knowing how things are in the world, knowing how things are in my world, in our worlds, prayer always is the best option. Everything must begin from there. That comes from a joke that Anna did some time about your dad saying that someone was in a plane and then we was about to crash. He was asking for help, and when every resource was done from the tower, they said, "Okay, let's start praying," because that's it. So the message is that everything, instead of praying being the last resource, let's do it the first. Let's begin with a prayer. And here in our bags, we have our prayer requests. Prayers that we are supporting right now. Because these prayers also are our prayers as we are one in unity and everywhere else. I invite you to put your heart in your prayer. And we pray over the prayers in these bags, knowing and feeling in the certainty that in the universe, the law of the universe are in the benefit of these prayers. We consecrate our words in the message of peace, abundance, perfect health, and everything else that is in correspondence in our hearts. Amen. Wow, it goes great. How you feel? It's been a long time since I was here. I missed, yeah. You should invite him more often. So, we're going to have now our statement of vision and mission. I invite you to check our vision. Is in the piece that you will have in front of you. Our vision. We envision the divine light awakening in all. Our mission. We center in peace and love. We connect in our hearts with others. We celebrate our journey toward wholeness, and we empower others to experience their spiritual magnificence. And so it is.
Imagine there's no heaven. It's easy if you try. No hell below us. Above us only sky. Imagine all the people living for today. Imagine there's no countries. It isn't hard to do. There's nothing to kill or die for. No religion too. Imagine all the people living life in peace. You may say I'm a dreamer, but I'm not the only one. I hope someday you'll join us, and the world will be as one. Imagine no possessions. I wonder if you can. No need for greed or hunger. A family herd of humans. And imagine all the people sharing all the world. But you may say I'm a dreamer, but I'm not the only one. I hope someday you'll join us, and the world will be as one.
Thank you, thank you, thank you. I think this song says everything. The power of imagination is the beginning of our creations. And if we imagine, that would be possible. I've been asked to be the one who introduces our speaker. And to tell you the truth, it's an honor. Thank you, Reverend Victoria, allowing me to introduce my... she is a friend, she is a sister, she is a teacher, she is a mentor, and she has to do things, she has it, she do it, I know. And sometimes when things goes in the way that doesn't correspond, she just, pow, puts it in the way. In my opinion, she knows how to do the things, and I cannot say words enough to introduce someone that I really love. And I know that as now we're trusting each other, you trust me, introducing my dearest friend, Reverend Ana Quintana, who's here to give us the message about practicing peace. Come, sister. Let me give you a hug. Thank you. There she is.
Hey. Wow. Really happy to be here today. And even from your opening prayer, Victoria, I was feeling the presence, the peace, honoring the name of this temple, Unity Center of Peace. In a time where we know that, somewhat challenged to hold that. In unity, we have come to realize that God is not a man in disguise with human qualities. But if for a moment we would go back to that idea of a human God, I'm sure we could picture a really sad God over the last week, but also a God that is happy. For there is so much good going on in the planet as well. There is so much transformation, so many acts of kindness, so many people truly committed to their spiritual evolution. A happy face because that principle, that idea, that presence knows the truth about this creation and know that our ultimate destination is a destination of power, of plenitude. Still, many of us ask ourselves, how can some of us behave in a way so distant from our intrinsic divine nature? What has been going on in that person's heart, soul, head, to be able to to get to the point of inflicting and doing a atrocious act to the most vulnerable of our society, children and babies. It really makes us wonder about the second unity principle that says that we are indeed divine, that there's a Christ presence, that it's all good, all love. Is it truly true? Sorry for the redundance. Is it partially, like some of us are there, but others aren't? So because we're not all that, then it must not hold true? In moments like that, and I'm just speaking with my own, believe me, I had my talk about what I wanted to do today, and then Victoria sent me a text, and I said, no, I'm just going to switch. I'm just going to speak from what I am experiencing, what I feel I need to share, and it will still be a talk about the peace, because that's what I aim, that Spirit through me might bring you to a place in which you can stay hopeful and peaceful, because this is what it's being required of all of us who are sensitive beings. And I believe that in the unity path, we are the critical mass that is holding the consciousness for the planet. So I said, okay, it's about shifting this, and then towards the end, I will mention what I plan on doing in the workshop, having tweaked it too, so that we enhance and raise the energy of love and peace within ourselves, so that we might be the perfect instrument for that right now as we are sitting here. We go through so many emotions as we experience the dark side of humanity. Many of us experience hopelessness, going like, can we aspire to live in harmony as a humanity? Many of us go through powerlessness, saying, is there anything I can do right now to just help the situation there? We question our belief system. I had a congregant send to me a text saying, is it really worth praying? Of course it does, but when we're in that shock, we question, don't we? Sometimes we are like the ostrich. We become avoidant because there's something I need to do to have some sort of defense mechanism that can allow me to feel better, and going into my daily routine and detaching might be a way to cope. There's a saying in Spanish that says, ojos que no ven, corazón que no sienten. Right? Eyes that cannot see, it's a heart that cannot feel. And many of us resort to that as a way to cope. Last week in my prayer circle that we have every Wednesday night, that we've been doing that for 11 years now, I was led to do a somewhat unitized tongue meditation, bringing in pain and asking the presence to transmute that pain. And I must say that it was harsh, because even if you bring the energy, you're tuning into that aspect, right? But as we have witnessed all of that, and we see the escalation of violence, we ask, or we can't help but question the reality of evil. And at some point, it really feels a contradiction to our statement of faith that says, well, there's only one presence, one power active in the universe and in my life, God the good, omnipotence. And sometimes when we are in that space of doubt, we doubt whether that is true, or if there's really another power. There's God and evil, or good or bad, and at some level in our frustration, we go, well, we better be realistic. We see at some level the evil unfolding, But we must know, and this is where I'm bringing you spiritual principle, we must know that evil on its own has not intrinsic reality. It's not the absolute truth. It might be a relative truth at some level that we're seeing it being displayed, but it's not the absolute. Just like when I was 12 years ago, I was diagnosed with a really difficult type of breast cancer condition that was what really brought me to the triangle. In the absolute truth, I was whole, perfect, and healthy. In the relative truth, I had a cancer diagnosis. And the journey was about how was I working my mind and my own being and at the soul level to bring myself out of that relative truth into the absolute truth, and that's how I heal completely. We must know that only God is real, only and absolutely true, with certain laws and principles. Evil has no reality of its own. It's really the absence of good. And this is something that I remember learning in my metaphysics class 20-something years ago. They compare it to an air conditioning. Okay, you go, okay. Think about that. Many of us might think that an air conditioning creates a cold air, but it really doesn't. What the air conditioning does, it really separates or gets rid of heat particles so that the air might be cool. But there's only one air, and it's just the cold air is the non-heated air. Same thing with us about this principle, that there's only good and the evil, it's just the absence of that. But the only thing that is real, it's the good. And what happens is that in our process of being in this world, we can, in our ignorance, we can get so trapped in the illusion of separation. And when you're in that illusion of separation, it's the ego that is running the show with a certain desire for power, for control, and that all leads into, imagine a lot of people vibrating in that, and when that happens, we are led to chaotic, dark, and painful results. However, we must realize that we are all always doing the best we can with the level of awareness that we have, we are operating under. And I believe, and this is just my own way of placing spiritual truth into everything that I'm seeing, is that there's certain souls in the planet that are still very immature, that are I don't know, I see it more like from their animal nature. They have not really evolved to a place of awareness and compassion, while there are others that have maybe evolved many times and have come to this awareness that there's more to life than just the survival. And many of us, and all of us, we are coexisting at the same time, right? And those of us, like many here, I would assume that in general, we've had privileged lives. Our basic needs, most of the times, I'm sure, in our lifetime experience have been met. And we've had the opportunity of exploring ourselves spiritually because our basic needs have been met. And now I can really learn more about my other non-physical side. And there might be others on the planet that haven't had that opportunity, that are in survival mode, that have been, because of their own process in their own environments, have met or have been encountered with a certain image of God, and all of that messes up in such a way that we get what we're seeing. But as those of us who are awakening more and more to our divine nature, we have this sacred responsibility of holding the truth and not being deviating into fearing that seems evil. Charles Fillmore, the co-founder of Unity, I love this from Charlie Fillmore. he used to say that there's two ways of magnifying evil. One is inflicting it, and the other one is what? Fearing it. So you might say, no, I'm a good person, I don't do any harm. But if you and I are fearing it, somehow we're magnifying it. Then I ask, what makes us vulnerable to fear? Especially in these times. What can we do not to fear? What can I do to be a constructive force and not a destructive force? And I don't know why the words that came to me was like, how can I help? Like the book by Ram Dass. And the answer is, well, it's more complex, but I'm just going to make it really kindergarten. Be an owl and not an ostrich. What does the ostrich do? Digs the head on the soil just to not feel, not see. And an owl has the capacity to move the neck all around in 360. It's a symbol of wisdom. And what I'm saying today is that, yeah, be an owl and be willing to question, be willing to feel, and then say, what is mine to do? How can I help? And the very first thing that came to me, and it's part of how I process all of this, is to truly pray for those in need. Last night I was with a friend, and we dedicated a whole prayer session for the women and the children in that area. And initially, we walked into that space, and there was so much turmoil and pain and so on. As the deeper we went, the deeper we started feeling a sense of peace that I'm sure, at some level, created some impact. There's never one prayer that can never stay without an impact. I have a friend from here. Years ago, she has an intense prayer practice, and she does a lot of prayers in groups. And she one day asked Spirit, show me the impact of the praying we've been doing. And she went into a dream, and she almost went into a trance. And they were praying for the earthquake people in Ecuador at the time. And she was taken to a scene in which she saw some men caught up in this rubble and how they were being saved, somehow miraculously. And she was shown that. I'm getting goosebumps. There are many times in our prayer circle where I go and I tell people, imagine when you're going through something really difficult and you feel hopeless and you feel alone. And can you hold the idea that somebody else who doesn't even know you is devotedly praying for you? What would that do to you? Let's be that person. Because it doesn't matter, our lives go on, but if out of my routine I can spare some time and say, I pray for you because I care, we just need to trust that that prayer that you're holding for the other and is creating some sort of miracle is also going to change you, going to touch you. For everything you do for another, you're doing for yourself. And when we feel trapped, like, oh, there's so much bad going on or so much evil, there's always another side of the coin that is completely the opposite. And I was I don't know if some of you saw the movie Sounds of Freedom about the human trafficking story and how bad it is, and it's a 150 billion industry and how many pedophiles in the world and so on. But in that story, you see also outstanding, brave people and servers, even in the government of the United States, who, there's a particular story, who he's willing to risk his life, risk their retirement because they had no more budget to go out in South America and save an 8-year-old girl out of a cocaine drug dealer who was abusing her every night. So you see like the darkest side of humanity and then the counterpart of somebody that has so much love and compassion and kindness that is willing to risk his lifetime retirement to save one little girl, which he did. It's about the silent heroes that I'm sure are out there doing the work. Second thing that we can do as an owl is that we can really go deeper into our spiritual life. Become aware that your own transformation matters. I love, this is my favorite scripture, happened to be in the daily word of the day that I was born, John 12:32, that says, Jesus, as I'm lifted up from the earth, all men will be raised or lifted with me. It's what Gandhi used to say, be the change you want to see. And if we take that seriously, and we know spiritual truth tells us that we're one, that there's no separation, quantum physics has proven that. So if that is so, then it means that there's a side of me that is in fear, that is ignorant, that can be easily radicalized, that can be obsessed, that can be violent. And so, if that is so, then I need to work on myself. And that is the basis of the practice of Ho'oponopono, right? That is like whatever you're seeing out there, there's some connection to you, so work on yourself, and the more you do, the more you will see change. So, the more we heal some of these attitudes and those tendencies in us, again, I'm sure it will impact somebody else somehow, somewhere. And this is where I need you to not only be an owl, I need you to be a monkey. A monkey. And this is where I was going to show a video, but it's okay, I can tell you what it was all about. And you might be familiar. Are you familiar with the 100th monkey effect? Right? Imagine that in Japan in the 1950s, they did this observation in this particular island of a colony of monkeys who were eating sweet potato, and the sweet potatoes were covered in sand. And they enjoyed it, but of course, it was not the best taste because of the sand particles. And one day, this female monkey realizes, oh, if I wash off the sweet potato, it's going to taste better. And started teaching this to the other monkeys, to the point where once it reached 100 monkeys, all the other monkeys in separate islands started doing the same. Why? Quantum leap. That's why we don't need to think that the shift in this world everybody has to shift in order for this world to get better. It's a matter of shifting that critical mass. And again, we are that critical mass. And you might say, because I have questions, well, I know this is a planet of karma, of contrast, of duality, and this is how we evolve. And yes, we do, right? Because as somebody is facing really this excruciating amount of pain, there's somebody who's developing compassion on the other hand. And in this duality is where we see growth. But it's like, do we have to really, we have to hold the idea that at some point, this is not going to be needed, that we're all going to be illumined. And that's why I admire the Bodhisattva vow that says that there's certain souls that are already like in the nirvana state, and they keep coming because they are here to make a difference through service. right? So that second aspect that I'm saying to you is like, work on yourself and use the spiritual practice to maintain yourself pure, because the more you do, the more you will be impacting out there. And if you want to get some special tips, I'm bringing my saleswoman back now. Join me for the workshop, because, and I'm holding this rosary. Years ago, I had a particular friend who was going through a crisis, big crisis, and she's not on the unity path, but she's a believer in God and so on. And she saw me like, oh, if you give me the recipe, I will follow it, and I will do whatever it takes, because everything that I've tried to do in my own external world hasn't worked, so give me the recipe. And I went to see her, and I would jump into the airplane, and I grabbed something like this that I had in my drawer, and then I said, oh gosh. And during that flight, I got a download of the 7 things she could do, and I was giving like all the unity teachings in one 7-step flow. So the workshop will be about that, and maybe we can all make it about, you know, whatever circumstance or worldly circumstance. The point is that if you and I cannot really deal with our own fears, how can we really be a helper, right? So it's like, that's the importance of us working on ourselves. And I believe that circumstances like this can be the perfect wake-up call to say, no, 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 no. There's something I need to do on my own. The third part that I am really encouraging you to contemplate is to have a renewed appreciation of your life and your spiritual community. My cousin Christy, who lives in Jacksonville, this week I see her like many times, like going, she has a son, and they have gone hiking and spending time this week, and she says, I just want to maximize the gifts that I have in my life. And so many of us, because we go into our routines, into our comfort zones, we start taking so many things for granted. What if we see this as a way to say, no, I'm not taking for granted anything anymore? I believe that when things are really cool and dandy and all is well from the ego perspective, we can even get spoiled. We want more. That insatiable ego is like about this and that. And the call today is about, no, let me really be grateful for everything. And you might say, hey, you know, I'm not a materialistic person, I'm on the unity path, and so on. But then when it gets to, let's say when it gets to be about how involved are you truly in your community, there's like, oh, well, I got stuff to do, or you're partially here. And in my own experience as a unity person that I've been doing unity for years and years, I have seen that the people, including me, the people that have really expanded spiritually are the people that are giving. That are giving of the 3 T's: the time, the talent, and treasure. There's so much you can acquire by coming on Sundays and sitting there and receiving, which is great, but it's not going to do it. Right? And I want to have you pose this question to yourself, paraphrasing Kennedy. Don't ask what the church can do for you, but what you can do for your church, for your community, right? And as I was driving and pulling in, I'm like, this is such a beautiful spot in Chapel Hill, North Carolina, with all this greenery, with this energy. I believe that the people in Chapel Hill, in general, are people with a higher vibration. This is like a jewel. But it will be as powerful and impactful as you decided it to be. I would like for you to really go within and say, what else can I do to make this a really vibrant and thriving community in the middle of this? It's almost like Snow White, you know, when Snow White going into the... Imagine what if all the spiritual unity or the spiritual communities, people there would say, instead of me fearing and going, where is humanity going? It's like, okay, I can make a difference wherever I am. I'm going to walk out of my comfort zone, and I'm going to go to Reverend Victoria or Maria, the board president, and say, hey, I'm here. I'm in business. What else can we do? What else can we be? What if it's about creating prayer vigils that people come together and let's resonate, let's practice what we preach? There's a saying that says, I cannot do all the good that the world needs, but the world needs all the good that I can do. And the question is, are we doing all the good that we can do? Sit with that for a moment. Am I doing all the good that I can do? And today, as I'm almost finalized, I'm asking you to really realize that your presence matters. That your presence will ultimately impact the Middle East, Ukraine, and your next door neighbor. It's about anchoring on the absolute truth that there's indeed one presence, one power, one energy in the universe, and it's completely good. It's being willing to reach out in prayer and do your inner deep healing work. And it's getting involved. This is all doable. But we get comfortable in our routines, in our comfort zones. And this event that has touched so many hearts can be the wake-up call, can be what you needed to say, hey, no. We start here. I start with myself, and I make it a reflection in my spiritual community. What else can you do today to make it good? Come to the workshop. A powerful spiritual practice is really a mechanism by which we stay fear-free without fearing evil and sustaining love, forgiveness, and compassion. Think about that renewed appreciation for your life and your community. Placing spirit first. How are you managing your time and your finances? It's really a reflection of your consciousness and your love. And I'm asking you today to love unconditionally. We are the critical mass. We can't let this planet go the wrong way because we're asleep. And many of us, we are all privileged to live in America. The land of the free. With our challenges and everything, but we woke up this morning in a peaceful environment, a plate to eat, a safe roof, and a spiritual community here in which we can come and be the presence together. Let us pray. I'm going to ask you to please just sit with your own soul at this moment. And whatever you might be experiencing, please know that it's the energy of God, the energy of love, moving through you. And don't resist it. Let it be, and let it expand. And let it expand around all beings here this morning. And trust that all hearts are being touched in a special way. This whole circumstance in the world, as sensitive beings, have opened our hearts, can be the greatest wake-up call to get us back on the path that we really need to be at. How we are this power of good in whatever is doable for us, we need to answer ourselves. And whatever answer arises, just be loyal to that. Just said, here I am, God. I'm doing my part. Here I am, God, being your instrument by first staying pure in the truth that I know, and staying alert and receptive to what is mine to do. And if I love this spiritual community of Unity Center of Peace, if I love the Unity way of life and what it has brought to my experience, I'm going to do everything to make this a place in which other people come and find liberation. And we extend this energy of love towards the whole city of Chapel Hill and North Carolina and the United States and the entire American continent. And we let it be in those places where love might not be reflected, but love through me and through us will find its way. We have that faith. We have that intention. And because if it's in alignment with divine will, which we know it is, all will be touched, all will be transformed, and the world of good that God intended for its creation will be established. For that and more, we say, thank you, God. Thank you, really thank you, that I get to see. And so it is. Amen.
see His darkness, be the light. If you're stuck in struggle, find some peace. When life brings you worry, search for hope. Be the seeds of change and watch love grow. Be the seeds of change and watch love grow. Patience is a virtue, so they say. Sometimes life gets in the way. You never know the difference you might bring. A glance, a moment could change everything. So when all you see is darkness, be that light. And if you're stuck in struggle, find some peace. When life brings you worry, search for hope. Be the seeds of change and watch love grow. Be the seeds of change and watch love grow. Kindness is a virtue, so take a breath. Feel your heart expand, then decompress. The words you choose to use can break a heart, or open up the door to a brand new start. Our time here on this planet's like a shooting star. The legacy we leave, it's bigger than we are. So when all you see is darkness, be that light. And if you're stuck in struggle, find some peace. And when life brings you worry, search for hope. Be the seeds of change and watch love grow. Be the seeds of change and watch love grow. Be the seeds of change and watch love grow.
Thank you, Ravana. My gosh, I'm still shaking. Thank you, the music's fantastic. And thank you, everyone. Truly, truly thank you, because as Ravana said, maybe we take things for granted being here in the United States. And I was remembering when I was younger. And my dream was to come to the United States. They denied me the visa 4 times. But I didn't want to come, illegal. So I said, at the moment, I will receive my visa, and that will be the moment that I go there, United States. It was my dream. And when I get to the United States, I realized that nothing changed, because I was the same. So, kind of disappointed, I started working in how is it that it works in life. Not just reaching the place here. So, reaching the place here is where we are, as I said before. When we give from what we have, it will end up sometime, because what we have is a quantity. But when we give from what we are, it will be multiplied and eternal, and is a source that never ending. So today's daily word says, I am generous. It's not only Osvaldo that is asking for support, it's the daily word, it's the whole unity. The whole universe is letting you know what time is it. Time to be the one, time to be generous. I don't have to tell you anything else because you know what time is it? It's where you get your form of donation or offering love offering and put it in your hand. Because thanks to that support, we are growing, we are doing this, and we will be able to do it more. You know, they deny 4 times the visa to me, but now I have a green card. So I invite you, if you belong to this community, I knew that yesterday was a lot of people taking the class for being part of the community. Make this your ID. I belong to UCP. Look at it here. This is my ID of UCP. That's my invitation to you. And if you are thinking about it, okay, we have the yellow option. This is a cash envelope. Or if you are the ones who are all the time in the phone and you forgot doing this here, go to the bathroom in your house and sit there and do your donation through Venmo. You know, UCP facilitates everything. So, holding in your hands, we're going to bless our gifts. Divine love, through me, blesses and multiplies all that I have, all that I give, all that I receive, and all that I am. Blessings.
Power of love is here now. The power of now is here now. The power of you and me is here to create magic on earth. The power of love is here now. The power of now is here now. The power of you and me is here to create magic on earth. The power of love is here now. The power of now is here now. The power of you and me is here to create magic on earth. The power of love is here now. The power of now is here now. The power of you and me is here to create magic on earth.
That's what we're doing. We're creating magic in this moment. And we do it with our hearts, we do it with our gifts, we do it by sharing love with each other. And when we do, we bless this community that is here for us. And we, in turn, are blessed. So I ask you to feel that energy of divine life moving through your heart and out through your hands, and just direct them towards these bowls, and know that this energy of love is present, and it is growing, and it is multiplying, and it goes out to support this community and out into the greater world. It returns to you pressed down, multiplied, and running over with an abundance of good. And so it is. Thank you. Mary's taking the prayer box out to the foyer, and if you would like to have your prayers prayed over during the service and by the prayer team, our fabulous prayer team all month, then go ahead and fill out a request and put it in the box, and we will do that. And so, at this moment, I'm looking around, seeing if I see any new faces. If there is anyone here for the first time today, you should have received a packet of information about Unity Center of Peace with a card, a blue card on the outside of that. Is if anybody did not receive that, raise your hand. Mary's got an extra copy. Otherwise, you're all good. Okay. And we want to say welcome to those of you who might be joining us for the first time online on YouTube or Facebook. We're glad you found us, so please say, hey, I'm here, I'm new, and our wonderful online greeter, Mel, will give you some information about UCP. And, you know, I just want to take this moment because we had all these wonderful people yesterday in our Pathways to Community class, and some were not familiar with some of the board members. And I see we have a lot of board members here in this service today, and so I just kind of want to introduce you. And if you would stand up, Maria Kavanaugh is our board president. Cheryl was here a minute ago. Is she disappeared. She levitated into the heavens. We have Joanne Comas back there. If you would just stand up, that's another board member. And we have Katie, who again must have levitated with Cheryl. Katie is sitting right here. So say hello to her. Anyway, I just wanted you guys to all know who is your wonderful board of trustees. We're all creating this experience together. So thank you. All right, one more song. Karen Novi.
And Andres. Oh, I couldn't do this without. It's so much better. This is a song by Matisyahu called One Day. Sometimes I lay under the moon and I thank God for breathing. And then I pray, don't take me soon, 'cause I'm here for a reason. Sometimes in my tears I drown, but I never let it get me down. So when negativity surrounds, I know someday it'll all turn around. 'Cause all my life I've been waiting for, I've been praying for the people to say that we don't want to fight no more. There'll be no more war, and our children will play. One day, one day, one day, one day, one day, one day. It's not about win or lose, 'cause we all lose when they feed on the souls of the innocent. Blood-drenched pavement, keep on moving though the waters stay raging. In this maze you could lose your way, your way. It might drive you crazy, but don't let it phase you, no way, no way. Sometimes in my tears I drown, oh, but I never let it get me down. So when negativity surrounds, I know someday it'll all turn around. Because all my life I've been waiting for, I've been praying for the people to say that we don't want to fight no more. There'll be no more wars, and our children will play. One day, one day, one day, one day, one day, one day. One day this all will change, treat people the same. Stop with the violence, down with the hate. One day we'll all be free and proud to be under the same sun, singing songs of freedom like, whoa. I've been praying for the people to say that we don't want to fight no more. There'll be no more wars, and our children will play. All my life I've been waiting for, I've been praying for the people to say that we don't want to fight no more. There'll be no more wars, our children will play. Sing it with me. One day, one day, one day, one day, one day, one day. Let's envision it. One day, one day, one day, yeah. One day, one day, one day.
One day. How about today? How about today? And we start that process, as Reverend Anna told us, here. We start it with us. And so and I want to thank you for your wonderful talk. Heartfelt. Oh, God. Let's give her some more love. Was that absolutely what we needed to hear today? Absolutely what we needed to hear and feel, you know? So, you have to be at this workshop this afternoon, right? You have to be there. And so, I don't have to talk too much about it because we know we're all going to be there and we know why we have to be there, right? We want to learn to be at peace so we can be a presence of peace in the world, that healing presence. So it starts at 1 o'clock today. So after the Sacred Cafe, get something to eat and some, refreshments and come on back in here. Okay, and do you need somebody to help set up the chairs? You're going to do like a little circle or something? Maybe after the service we can help set up the way you need it. Okay, good. All right, so I have a few more things to share. We also have game night coming up because we also want to incorporate some fun into our lives. And that is Friday night, this coming Friday night, October 20th at 6 o'clock, right here, Unity Center of Peace. So we got games here. We just need you to come. Adults and teens, welcome too. And does anybody know what a trunk or treat is? Has heard about that before? Okay, so it's just a really safe way for kids to trick or treat with people that they know. And so you are invited when you come here on the 29th, which is the last Sunday of the month, to bring some treats. And after the service, we're going to open our trunks and have some treats. And you can decorate it any way you want. It could be fun. It could be scary. It could be just have a lot of fun. And we're going to have the kids, we'll go around from trunk to trunk and trick or treat, right? And you're also invited to really get into the spirit of it, dress up, where the kids are going to be invited to dress up, and we'll just have fun. Okay? Yeah, all right. So, so a new way that we've decided that you can stay inspired and empowered and centered throughout the week, we're starting this midweek meditation. So I'll be leading a meditation. It will be at noon? Yes, at noon, starting November 1st. And this coming month will be on gratitude. So join us on YouTube or Facebook. And just for 10 minutes, give yourself some time to reconnect with that peace, to reconnect with your spirit. And then go back out into the world with that. All right, so that's a new thing we're starting, so look for that. 3-Minute Miracle is something that we do, a service that we offer every Sunday. It's a beautiful way to, if you got anything still popping in your head or, not quite solved in your heart, you maybe want to sit with somebody who's trained in prayer so they can help know the higher truth for you. See it from a higher perspective. And today our prayer partner is Mel. So she will be in the last room on the left for prayer. All right. I also want to talk about this coming Tuesday. We are offering something called a process group. And Kara Rezegi, raise your hand, is over there. This was her idea. So, so this that we have been experiencing in the world, we're looking at it from a spiritual perspective. We also have our humanness and our human emotions about it. So this is a way to sit in a circle and process a lot of our feelings and emotions about it. And she says it's not going to be a discussion group. It's not an intellectual exercise. It is just an opportunity to process the feelings, and it's a somatic experience, she says. And participants will walk away with a sense of shared experience, faith in one's ability to respond with spiritual integrity, and most importantly, a stronger connection to community. So that's going to be here in person Tuesday at 5:30. Yeah, at 5:30. So avail yourselves of that. Okay, Flower Angel Program. So we have some available spots coming up to bring some beautiful flowers, either from your garden or wherever you want to pick them up. And every week we have been blessed with this wonderful program. Somebody offers to bring some flowers and graces our sanctuary and creates beauty here. And you have an opportunity to share a blessing, a dedication to somebody. And today it is Karen Rowe who brought the flowers. And Karen Rowe is dedicating this to her brother, her sisters, and her brother. She feels blessed and grateful that they're all still together on this earthly plane. And there's just a variety of, they're beautiful, aren't they? So, like, they represent Diane and Myra and Janet and Joyce and Michael, and she's sending love to all of those family members. So thank you, Karen, and thank you, everybody who brings flowers. I think there's a sign-up sheet on the back table there if you also would like to bring some flowers and dedicate it to somebody.
Can I say something about that? I just want to say that it was a great opportunity to go around and find these flowers, thinking that at the same time I was giving a gift to my siblings. And so I just want to thank that for having that opportunity, and I hope you all do that.
It is.
Sign up for someone that you love or that you remember.
Yeah, it's a double blessing, a triple blessing. Indeed. Okay, I think we have some children waiting back there, so let's sing them on in.
I am the radiant life of God. I am, I am, I am. I am the radiant life of God. I am, I am, I am. The health of God, the strength of God, vitality, energy, vim of God. I am the radiant life of God. I am, I am, I am.
Good morning. Hi, I'm Shannon, as you all know. Today we had 3 kids, and we talked about zeal, which was interesting because all of us upstairs were kind of low energy. So we did things that we found that would give us energy, which is just painting and how to change that, and then also how to take some of that zeal that we hopefully will have tomorrow, and then or the next week, and to share it. So how are we going to share that energy and that zeal? So that's some of what we talked about, and yeah, that's kind of where we are right now. So as you heard, we do have the trunk or treat coming. I'm still looking for about 3 more volunteers, and thank you very much. I'm sorry, I always forget, but thanks to Mary Angela for volunteering. So I really do appreciate that.
So we're going to bless the children. We love you. We bless you. We appreciate you just the way you are. And we behold the Christ in you. Mwah! Thank you very much. It's been a wonderful experience being here with all of you. See you next week on October 29. That's the last Sunday. Guess who's giving the message? Yes, myself. So I invite you to come with an open heart because it's great news. Actually, the title is Good News Are Here. So I don't know exactly the news, but I know that good news. Okay, so let's do it with a prayer of protection, please. Let's stand up, if we are able to. The light of God surrounds us. I am the light of God. The love of God enfolds us. I am the love of God. The power of God protects us. I am the power of God. The presence of God watches over us. I am the presence of God. Wherever we are, God is, and all is well. Of course.